Right now, somewhere in the world, a dog is sleeping at the foot of its owner's bed. A cat is stretched across a couch, pretending not to care about anyone in the room. They're so common that we rarely stop to think about them. But here's something strange. Dogs and cats are descendants of predators. One came from wolves that once hunted across frozen Ice Age landscapes. The other came from wildcats that stalked prey alone in the deserts and grasslands of the ancient world. For most of human history, both animals would have avoided us. So how did two wild predators end up taking over our homes? And why did humans choose them over thousands of other animals on Earth? The answer begins long before cities, farms, or even civilization itself. Around 30,000 years ago, humans were living in small groups of hunter-gatherers. Every day was a struggle for survival. Food was never guaranteed. Predators lurked in the darkness. And yet, somewhere on the edge of a campfire's glow, another hunter was watching. The wolf. At first, wolves and humans were competitors. Both hunted many of the same animals. Both traveled in groups. Both were intelligent, cooperative predators. In many ways, wolves were the species most similar to us. But something unexpected happened. Not all wolves behaved the same. Some were more aggressive. Others were more curious. The boldest wolves began lingering near human camps, not because they wanted friendship, because they wanted leftovers. Human camps produced scraps of meat and discarded bones. For a hungry wolf, that was an opportunity. The wolves that could tolerate humans gained access to an easy source of food. The humans benefited too. Those wolves could detect danger long before people could. They could smell predators approaching in the dark. They could alert camps to threats. Over thousands of generations, a remarkable partnership emerged. Humans didn't wake up one morning and decide to create dogs. Instead, humans and wolves slowly changed each other. The friendliest wolves survived. The most cooperative animals stayed close to people. Generation after generation, those wolves became smaller, calmer, and more social. Eventually, they became something entirely new. Dogs. And once dogs entered human society, they transformed it. They helped hunt. They guarded camps. They protected livestock. They traveled with humans across continents. No other animal became such a close partner in human survival. But dogs were only half the story. Because thousands of years later, another predator arrived. And unlike wolves, it wasn't interested in helping us. It was interested in our mice. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began building permanent settlements. Agriculture changed everything. People started storing grain. And wherever grain existed, rodents followed. Mice and rats found paradise inside human settlements. But they weren't the only ones. Wildcats noticed the feast as well. These small predators discovered something extraordinary. Human villages were full of prey. For a hunter, it was like finding an endless buffet. The cats moved in. Humans tolerated them because they reduced rodent populations. The cats stayed because life was easy. Unlike dogs, cats didn't need to be trained. They didn't hunt for us. They didn't guard us. They simply did what they had always done. They hunted. And that happened to benefit humans. This relationship was so successful that cats spread alongside civilization itself. From the farms of the ancient Near East to the cities of Egypt and beyond. In some cultures, cats became symbols of protection. In others, they became sacred. Yet despite thousands of years living beside us, cats remain surprisingly similar to their wild ancestors. A house cat today shares many of the same instincts as the wildcats that first entered human settlements. In many ways, cats were never fully domesticated. They simply found a way to live comfortably alongside us. But here's the question. If dogs and cats became such successful companions, why didn't other animals do the same? Why don't people keep zebras instead of horses? Why not bears? Why not tigers? The answer lies in temperament. Most animals are terrible candidates for domestication. Some are too aggressive. Others panic easily. Many refuse to breed in captivity. Others simply don't tolerate human presence. Dogs possessed an unusual combination of intelligence, cooperation, and social behavior. Cats possessed independence and a natural role inside human settlements. Together, they occupied a perfect balance. One became our partner, the other became our neighbor. And over thousands of years, they spread to nearly every corner of the planet. Today, there are hundreds of millions of dogs and cats living in human homes. They sleep in our beds. They appear in our photos. They become members of our families. But when you look into a dog's eyes, you're seeing the descendant of a wolf that once watched ancient campfires from the darkness. And when a cat silently stares at you from across the room, you're looking at the descendant of a wild hunter that slipped into the first human villages thousands of years ago. We like to think we chose dogs and cats, that we brought them into our world. But maybe the story happened the other way around. Maybe wolves and wildcats saw an opportunity. Maybe they discovered that humans were useful. And over thousands of years, they quietly accomplished something no other predators ever managed. They took over our homes, and most of us are perfectly happy that they did.